Affect, effect.
Don't ask me. I'm not the one to know that.
Okay.
Do you think the story... I want to tell you in Grandma's house. Because she, had, anything that was hers was ours when we came to her house.
Oh, do you remember when... Okay. Stop talking. No more talking. We have to work. Okay.
You're doing day 1, right?
I just did day 1.
Yeah, that's what I said. You're doing day 1. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay.
All right, I got 2 and 3 for week 5.
Okay. Affect and effect is one of the most common questions in grammar.
Okay, good. That makes us feel better. Okay, but seriously, I thought it was 30 minutes without talking.
30 minutes is a long time to go without talking.
Okay, let's start low. 5 minutes. Okay, got it.
Okay. Effect is a result or a noun. Affect is an influence or a verb.
Okay, so which one are you using?
Okay, seriously, the hardest part of this whole process was not talking to you. We don't normally work side by side.
I won't recommend any more work days. This was not productive at all. We'll keep working remotely. So, whose idea was it to write a devotional?
I think it was yours.
I kind of think so too, but I couldn't remember.
Because I usually take the credit for everything. Yeah.
It doesn't actually matter, but...
Yeah, no, it was yours.
You know,
the title.
Yeah, Decluttering My Faith. That I've had for a long time.
Okay.
So I just think, we've both known this for a long time, and that's why we did Sundays together for so long, that there is such a correlation between our Christian faith and decluttering. But yet, it's so hard because we're all confronted by marketing every single day, 24/7. Buy this. This will make you happy. This will fulfill your needs. And I think it causes a lot of us to feel like losers then when it doesn't fill those needs. We go to read the Bible and it's like, don't have idols, don't keep all of this stuff ahead of, our faith and all that. And we're like, how did I fall into this trap again?
Well, and conversely, along
Affect,
with that. I don't think I'll ever get that right. We just need a good editor.
That's why we have an editor.
Good editor. Actually, along those lines, not inversely. Along those lines, I feel like honestly in the church, simple living isn't anything, it doesn't get much emphasis.
No.
And we don't talk about the deluge of stuff that we are all confronted with daily. Yeah. Both material possessions and time commitments and activities and things that we feel like we and our families should be doing.
Right. And I thought, we really get down on ourselves, but I heard this message a little while back that I thought was so good. And the pastor was talking about how often our blessings end up becoming idols, right? So many of us are so fortunate. If you're watching this video, chances are you have your needs met, right? Right. But how then those blessings and things that we've gotten to enjoy, they start to steal our focus, right? And I loved what he said, and he was like, we just have to ask the Lord to help us reprioritize. Lord, where do you want me to focus? Yeah. And so that's actually one of the devotionals, but I just love it. It's like, we're not bad. There's nothing wrong. We live in a difficult time right now to keep those priorities straight. But just being able to ask the Lord, okay, where do I need to shift my focus back to?
And again, I think this is where, because we've been on this journey together of simple living, where we've just been overwhelmed by how it impacts our faith.
Yes.
And how overwhelmingly we've seen that as you minimize your possessions and the things that take your time and energy and money to manage, how much more room there is for spiritual things. And so likewise, a lot of us get down on ourselves because we're not doing enough spiritually. Yes. We're not reading our Bible. We're not praying. We're not worshiping. Maybe we're not even making it to church anymore. When I am driving to church and I see all the baseball fields full and soccer fields full around us, it makes me really sad because that has become church. No guilt if that's you. Yeah. You can't build the schedule. Right. But we feel like, oh man, I don't have time or room for these things. However, when we start to minimize and live more simply, we're like, oh, okay, that actually wasn't so hard. Sometimes dealing with the physical things is easier than trying to change some of the other disciplines in our lives.
Yeah, I love that. So we've been working on a 12-week devotional, and it's kind of cool because we wanted to incorporate some practical decluttering tasks as well. So each week has 5 devotionals, and then at the end of it is a decluttering focus that you can do. So I'm actually more excited about this than my Declutter Your Home in 15 Minutes a Day workbook.
This is, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Because if we could work in weight loss,
yeah, we'd solve all
we
your
would
problems.
touch on every need that we all have.
Funny that you should say that though. But I feel like as I've simplified and decluttered my house, things
Yes.
like getting out of debt, living more healthily,
Yeah.
building community, meal planning, cleaning schedule, all of those things have begun to work themselves out. So I'm always careful, like I don't want to sound like an infomercial myself of like
Right.
minimalism will solve anything. It doesn't solve all of our problems, but man, it sure makes a lot of things kind of fall into place and be a lot easier.
And again, sometimes it's the easier place to start.
Yes.
Not always, because some of us have things that we're really emotionally attached to or guiltily attached to. But sometimes you're like, okay, I haven't been able to get into a good exercise habit, but maybe I can clean out a closet.
Yeah.
And sometimes then that kind of creates a cascade effect into other areas of our life. So this book, okay, so knowing me, right, when we're writing a devotional, like it can't just be basic.
Floofy.
Yeah. Like it needs to have some meat in there. So that's what I've been really working hard at, is just kind of digging into some of the things that I always love to talk with you about anyway. The original context or culture or language, and just getting a richer understanding of each of the passages. So I think you'll find in the 5 days of devotionals that are included with each week, like it really is going to fuel and spur us all on in our faith. And then you get to the last 2 days and it's like, let's go. Like, what are we going to declutter this week? And so we're hoping that these two things all together are going to actually be very rich.
Yeah. So we're not actually selling you anything right now. That was a good sales pitch though. I was ready to buy.
Yeah.
And again, we'll buy it right now.
We'll keep that for a Facebook ad, okay?
Yeah. So what you can do is sign up for our email list, and then you'll be the first to know. We're going to try and order a bunch. We hope they don't sell out super quickly. With that being said, you never know, right? So our hope is to have it out October-ish, November. What did we say?
November 1 is the goal date. Yep.
Yeah, so that you can order it for Christmas. And then, are we going to talk about how we're trying to make a group study to go with it?
Well,
or do we not overpromise anything right now?
You know what? Let's just commit.
Let's just go for it.
Commit. Because many of us have found two things. One, we're like, hey, I've done this. I have simplified minimal mom. I have been with you since the beginning. You should see my house. How do I tell my family and friends? Because we don't want to be like rude, right? And go into their house and be like, wow, like how do you live like this? So that would be rude. So that's one aspect of it.
Yep.
The other aspect is some of us have tried and we're not succeeding on our own. And so in all things in life, bringing others along with us is so helpful. Yeah. And so we've designed this to be something that you can do with a friend or you could do with a small group. And so we'll have a leader's guide, but then also starting in the new year, a Facebook group for anybody who's leading. We'll just give you like some encouragement and some tips, and you can learn from one another so that we could form small groups around this in the new year.
Yeah. So, yeah, I am more excited about this than like really any of the other stuff
I'm excited about the small groups. Yeah. I don't care if you buy a book. We're actually printing them in India to support ministry there, which is really neat. And so all of this is about, we really believe in this content and we want to support and make this as helpful to as many people as possible. But the small group part of it, that's what I'm excited about. Because I think if you get a couple people together and you have that accountability and someone to just talk it through, or if you're having a tough day when you get to sentimental items, someone that you could FaceTime with, or you all could get together and go to each other's house or whatever, I think that support is vital. Yeah,
I remember the interview I did with Dr. John Deloney a little while back. He says, grief demands a witness. And I often think that decluttering demands a witness too, because you get something done and you want to share it. Like, I mean, you want to send before and after pictures. You want to know on Saturday everyone is tackling that together. And so, not to diminish that beautiful quote, but I think it's kind of true.
For some of us, there is grieving involved.
And that is actually very true.
I bought this and I shouldn't have. This was money I didn't have. Or these are sentimental items. I thought I should keep more of this, but honestly, I just don't have the space or time to manage this inventory. So,
and we will talk about sentimental stuff in the devotional as well.
And we will be there to support you.
Yeah. So we're excited about it. And like I said, if you sign up on our list down below, you'll get to know about it right away. Of course, we'll share about it on here as well. We send out good emails though.
Dawn gets her own emails and reads them top to bottom.
Like, I'll do like favorite things. Like, we did a trivia a couple of weeks back. Like, we try to make, we don't just, I will not clutter up your email
No,
inbox.
and my emails, exactly, they're more infrequent, but they always have a
intentional.
very important purpose. That's true. Yeah.
So if you'll trust us with your email address, we'll only send good stuff.
Don't give us your spam one. you can trust us. Come on.
So the devotional might have been my idea, but Diana is actually the real writer in the group.
Well, anybody who writes knows it's a muscle.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And people that are really good at it make it look really easy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think the only thing that's helping me with devotional writing is our radio experience. Because we learn to communicate so succinctly.
Okay.
And so, like, with the devotional, you don't get 10 pages to explain. And so, like, you're constantly cutting out sentences and words. So I think that's helped. But do you remember when I was in college which actually I talk about this too in the book, because I went to a Catholic college, and so there was a monastery there, but it also meant that several of my instructors were nuns.
Okay.
And Sister Mary Reuter called me into her office one day. She had my paper, and she had 3 different lines highlighted, and she said, Diana, I don't really know how to say this. We got along great. She was like, but I believe that these sentences are plagiarized from your textbook. Which, I mean, maybe if you're like really overtired, like it could happen, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, but I wouldn't know, like knowingly do that. And I read back and I was like, oh, like, no, Sister Mary, I wrote that. And so when we started this project, I was like, because we are collaborating with a professional writer, because we were like, anything we do, we're going to spend time on this. We want this to be well communicated and top notch so everybody can clearly understand it. And you can feel proud, like, giving this to your friends. You're like, hey, these are my YouTube friends. And then people are like, like, do they know English? Like, so we've been...
And I know I'm not a writer. So I had no pretenses here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we've been collaborating with Tam Fortner, who is amazingly professional and gifted. And it's been so fun. But it turns out, like, I'm not a bad writer myself.
So as you're reading, you don't have to think, oh, that was Tama. You can be like, wow, Diana, girlfriend, you nailed it. Yeah.
So, and I'm having a ball. Like this, it's actually been really fun. Just anything communicating the Bible just fuels me. And so this has been so fun. It's a labor of love. There's days I sit down and I was like,
I know, I'm like, Diana, you don't have week 9 done. We're like, what are we doing here? Like, the deadline is this. Like,
I know. And then Dawn comes over. She's like, oh, maybe if we work together, it'll be really effective. I still have 3 more things I want to tell you, but I made myself
like, write a list, Diana, write a list.
I was like, no, we said 30 minutes. We made it 5, but 30 minutes without talking.
Yeah, but we did try to incorporate a lot of stories too. So I don't know. I hope it's enjoyable, but also a little bit profound.
It's been fun revisiting the stories. Actually, in our testimony video, we revisited some of the high points of our faith along the way. So we have a lot to draw from. It's been very diverse.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so hopefully the stories are kind of fun too. And again, you will feel proud is our goal, to share this with family and friends and invite them into a lifestyle, especially of living more simply. So this is cute. Is this your writer? This is my writer's outfit. Is that
I should write one just
writer's
about this.
outfit?
You know, when you go to a store, I actually went into a store, I tried it on, Tom was with, he's like, oh, that's really cute. I thought it was like kind of the like casual, like athleisure, everyone's wearing kind of like baggy tops now, whatever.
They are again, yeah.
I think because we're short, it just looks like I'm wearing a shirt that's too big for me. And then the color, I'm like, in the fitting room, I thought it looked really good. And then I got home and I took the tag off because it was wrinkly and I put it in the dryer and I took it out. I'm like, oh, what am I doing? So do you want it?
Could have, yes. No. That color's not going to be any better on
I know.
me.
I still have the tags. It's from the buckle. Do you think they'll take it back?
I would try. You have the tags?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
But once they're removed?
Oh, no. I've returned stuff to Target because I don't know. Does anybody? Okay. Does any? Don't tell everybody that. You're making this worse.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Spray a little Febreze. Okay. I've taken so many things back to Target because I have a 4-year-old little girl that just instantly rips everything off. I just come with the item with the tag and they're fine with it.
Okay, maybe I'll try that. Play it cool. Just act like really confident, like they are going to take it back.
They are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I mean, all you have to say is, oh, I thought I liked it, and then I realized I didn't. I put it on one more time at home, and it was not me.
Okay.
And it just grabs. This material it's kind of hard. It's a little hard.
All right, I feel better now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Will you go with me?
We'll keep you posted. I'll do it. I have 0% concern about it.
Okay.
Make Tom do it.
Oh no, he would not. He won't. If he's like at a restaurant, they bring him like totally the wrong food. He'll just be like, okay, I'll just eat it.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do that.
Okay. Adeline could probably
Adeline
wear
would probably like
but
it.
you're not going to spend that much on Adeline.
No, Adeline doesn't get expensive shirts yet.
All right. We love hanging out with you. Sign up for the email list and we'll definitely keep you posted.